there's one mindset shift that changed everything for me on YouTube. I went from saying to myself, I hope someone will like this, to how can I genuinely serve someone today? And this mindset shift completely impacted my decision making, because every single time I had to make a decision on this channel about the content that I was creating, it was now focused around the goal of serving my audience, serving the people who are going to view my content. How can I actually solve problems for them? How can I provide value to them? How can I provide information, nuggets of wisdom that I take for granted that someone else doesn't know right now? And with me sharing that knowledge with them, it's going to completely transform their life. So this is super important. We need to reframe our whole perspective when we're creating content on YouTube. We need to stop looking at output focused results or output focused outcomes and start looking at outcome aware. So what this essentially means is we need to focus on value and not vanity metrics. So let me share a funny story that kind of sums this up. So this is my second channel. This isn't my first channel on YouTube. Okay, I actually started a sort of travel-based channel about 6 months ago, maybe slightly longer than that when this video goes out. And when I first posted content there on YouTube, I would literally upload a video and then I would open my YouTube Studio Analytics app and I would just watch the analytics like a hawk. It was, for me, it was like investing in the stock market. You buy a stock, you buy some shares, and then you just watch it every single day, just waiting for it to go up and up and up. You know, we're waiting for that short-term dopamine hit. That's what we're all after. We're hardwired for that instant gratification. And that's exactly what I was doing on YouTube. I was wasting so much time on Studio Analytics, just looking and hoping and praying that my views were going to go up, my subscribers were going to go up. And guess what? Me spending time and effort doing that, valuable time and effort and energy doing that, it didn't move the needle at all. Didn't change anything. In fact, it made things a lot worse. It slowed down my momentum, because if I'd just focused on actually putting out more content, providing the value for my audience that they were there for, you know, nurture that relationship. If I'd just focused on that, I would have accelerated my growth. And luckily for me, I was able to overcome that to a degree. I do still occasionally check in on YouTube Analytics, but it's not as bad as it was. But it's a very common thing that people go through, is they just get stuck looking at the numbers. And once you've uploaded the video, your work for that video is done. You going and looking at Studio Analytics, YouTube Analytics, it's not going to do anything. It doesn't add any value to your viewers or to you. It just makes things a lot worse. It reinforces this mindset of being focused on the outcome, you know, and not being focused on output. So what we need to do is we need to look ahead. We need to start to actually value long-term thinking over this short-term dopamine that we get from views. We need to essentially build up this stoic mindset of delayed gratification. Know that the work that we are putting in isn't necessarily going to pay off straight away, but over time, it's an investment. It's like compound interest. You put a little bit of money into the bank account, you know, where you're gaining interest on, and then a little bit and a little bit, and it's really small and low to begin with. But over time, as it starts to compound and the value starts to gain in value, it's going to start to increase exponentially. And that's exactly what happens on YouTube. So long as you don't quit and you stay consistent and you stay focused on your mission, you're going to be rewarded in the end. But how long that can take, no one can really tell you. You see all these videos, especially when you're starting out on YouTube, it's like, oh, turn off this setting and you'll go viral, or make sure you do these 10 things before and after every upload in order to blow up. It's just, I'm sorry, I just don't think that's really the case. That's not realistic. If there was these easy hacks, everyone would do it and everyone would be going viral. But guess what? They're not. And the only reason that we think these things work is, one, people are obsessed with the quickest fix, the easiest solution. So when someone packages up a video and is like, oh, just click this button, turn off this setting and you'll go viral. Well, guess what? Tons of people click on that video because they're like, oh my, the shiny promise. That's all I need to do. I want to find out and I'll do that. I'll go viral. Doesn't happen though. Those people are getting the clicks, but you're not growing because they're just putting out this information here to get you in the door to grow their channel. They are basically hijacking basic human psychology, okay? This desire for instant gratification. And the other reason why none of that actually works is because, sorry, I'm distracted. My dog Alfie's just came in for the first time ever actually in this whole series to see us. So, yeah, Alfie. Yeah, pal. So yeah, the other, God, get distracted here. I know, son, I know. Right, I'll be 2 minutes. Daddy's just finishing a video, okay? So the other reason that we all think that stuff works is because we see these people with these videos and they have hundreds of thousands of views. So there's this social proof where we're like, okay, they've got hundreds of thousands of views. They are saying just turn off this setting and do this and I'm going to go viral. I'm going to, grow a big audience overnight. And it just doesn't happen because you're not seeing all of the people who put out content and turned off that setting. They followed all of the steps and the 10 things to do before and after every upload. They followed every single step and they still got 0 views. You don't see them because they got 0 views. YouTube isn't suggesting that content that no one's watched, okay? So we need to reframe our whole perspective on this. Let's look at it from a long-term point of view. And in order to actually rewire our brains, because like I said, we're hard-coded for instant gratification. That's what we all want. We want the easy fix. It's just, it makes sense. It's the path of least resistance. Why would you not follow the path of least resistance? But in this case, we're being promised something that isn't actually true. So in reality, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a long time. So we need to rewire our brains to actually make this sustainable. So we do this by building new habits. It's the only way that you can actually make this work and avoid burnout. So let's post and ghost. Let's press that upload button. Your work is done and you just ghost it. You're not going to look at those analytics. Instead, you're going to focus on working on your next video. You're immediately going to jump back into the pre-production phase for your next video. And we're just going to focus on practicing, pre-production, production and post-production. Forget about the analytics. Let's adopt a 50 video milestone mentality. So let's look at it in that we are only going to do a deep dive on our analytics once we've uploaded 50 videos, once we've actually put enough content out there to actually have a reasonable sample size to look at the data. You can't just put out one video and then learn tons from the data that you receive from that. We have to put out a lot of content and then look at the whole data. We're not looking to do one and done, which is what I was doing for a long time. And trust me, it's not the way to grow on YouTube, okay? We need to look at this from a forward-looking mindset. And we also need to actually build faith in our mission. We need to believe in ourselves, even when you doubt yourself most. And I'm going through this right now because this is day 25 of this 30-day daily upload challenge where I'm uploading long-form content every single day on this channel. And even still, 25 uploads in, I am getting like virtually 0 views. I've had to resort to putting out, snippets of my long form videos onto YouTube Shorts just to actually get impressions, just to start and get views and start gathering data and try and get people to go from the shorts and actually watch the long form videos. That was phase 2 of my whole plan. I was going to do that once this 30-day challenge was over. So on day 31 to day 60, I was going to basically do long form every day plus short form every day to promote that long form. But I've had to bring that all forward because it's just, you're just not growing when you start out. It takes so long. So I have doubted myself as well this whole time, and a lot of the fears and insecurities that I had that prevented me from starting this channel, you know, feeling like I wasn't good enough, I didn't have enough life experience, you know, thinking that I didn't have the voice for YouTube. You know, that's something that I was told in the past by a college lecturer, was that I should never do voiceover work because no one's going to like my voice, which is all nonsense. But those fears and insecurities start to creep in when you're not seeing the progress that you expect and you're getting 0 views. You start thinking, oh, is it actually, maybe it is because of my voice. Maybe people don't, you know, they're not watching because of that. And that's nonsense, because on this channel, I'm not getting impressions. So YouTube just isn't even serving my videos, you know, the title and the thumbnail. They're not even serving it to people. If they're serving it to people, it's on YouTube search, and they're maybe serving it to like 5 people or 10 people. And again, it's just not enough data to actually get views. So we need to actually have faith in our mission, you know, have a why. Start out with a really strong why when you're starting your channel. You need to know, why are you doing this? So for me, I'm doing this to create impact. I want to create impact to help people go from being a consumer to being a creator. And the reason I'm doing that is because that was a problem that I had. I was stuck being a consumer for such a long time. I really wanted to be a creator, but I had all these fears, insecurities, and doubts that were holding me back, and also lacked a lot of knowledge. But since actually taking that leap of faith and diving into the whole creator economy and creator process, I've learned a ton, and I'm now inspired to actually inspire other people and motivate them who are, say, where I was 6 months ago or a year ago or even 10 years ago, and encourage them and encourage you to start your journey today. If you haven't already done it, start now. If that's what you really want to do, just do it. You've got nothing to lose. Trust me, you really don't. All the things that all the roadblocks that you're putting in front of yourself to stop you from starting, whether it's, oh, I don't have the right gear, like the right camera, or my voice isn't good enough, or I'm not confident on camera, and all this stuff, that all happens after you actually start. We all suck at the start, but you just need to actually start. So that's my mission. You know, that's my why, and I just remind myself of that whenever I do feel down and I feel like quitting YouTube, because I do sometimes. I feel like, why am I doing this? Like, I should be spending this time on my business, you know, I should be spending this time you know, enjoying my life, but I have this mission and I've got a goal and I'm going to accomplish it. So you need to be able to actually continue creating even when no one is watching. You have to be able to create when no one's watching, because no one's watching at the start. For the most part, no one's watching. I got very lucky with my first channel in that I got views off the bat because I was putting out content in a niche that was really niched down. There wasn't tons of competition and there was enough demand there, so YouTube knew who to show it to. But this niche that I'm in is super saturated, super competitive, and it's really tough to get views out of the gate. So you have to change your mindset, build up these habits to be able to create content when no one is watching. It's the only way to actually make it sustainable. So, and it's also super common that you're not going to get views at the start, and it's actually good because it means that takes that pressure off of you. You know that you can practice in public, get better at your craft, get better at speaking on camera and being authentically you, without the pressure of having like tens of thousands of subscribers and knowing you're going to get tens of thousands of views and comments that are positive but also negative, and you don't have all of that to worry about. You can just focus on practicing in public, and that is the the big step really to actually help you grow your YouTube channel. So this genuinely changed everything from me. You know, I went from one and done and watching YouTube analytics like a hawk to post and ghost, batch filming, and actually focusing on long-term goals. I am much more consistent than I've ever been, and I can't wait to actually make more videos just for the sheer enjoyment of the progress and the process as well. And that's all happened by just putting the reps in and just showing up and putting that content out there and practicing in public. So a little closing message here for you guys. You know, YouTube becomes more fulfilling and sustainable when you actually shift your mindset. Let's not look at it from the short-term dopamine seeking mindset. Let's adopt a more stoic mindset where we're looking for, you know, delayed gratification. We're going to put in all that work just now. We're going to have this big payoff rather than putting in work, expecting a short-term result, getting burnt out and dejected, and then quitting on your dream. That's not what we're looking to do here. So if you want to know the kind of step-by-step guide that I'm using to actually create content every single day and grow this channel, because the growth hasn't been great so far, but if you do need a step-by-step guide that's actually helpful to help you start today, I've made a whole video where I share my step-by-step guide here. So go and watch it, copy it, and start your YouTube journey today if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.